As I said, how is your Christmas? How was your Christmas? But I always say that Christmas continues throughout the week up till the 1st of January. And then we go into the celebration of the new year that continues because every day is a celebration of life, as I always believe it. I've been away for quite a while, One has to regroup, reassess, re-strategize, and of course, rest. As some people know, I run a vision board workshop. I normally run a vision board workshop several times a year. I just finished one masterclass on the 8th of December. And to be quite honest, already I'm getting some very, very good feedbacks. Vision boarding is powerful, and I'm happy that some people have already started trying to get it known. Vision board is powerful, and if I might say it about myself, I have a unique way that I do my vision boards. I deploy so many skills in trying to get people to put on paper what the intrinsic them is all about. The spiritual side of them, the emotional side of them, and of course the physical side, what they really require physically. Hello everybody. I did my own vision board early in the year. We're still in 2018. And I tell you something, anything that I teach, anything that I'm doing, I have passed through it. I have been through procrastination, I've been through emotional pain, I've been through success issues, I've been through trying to get all my ideas together, I've been through been so creative, I have so many ideas, and I learned how to scale everything down. So everything I do, I'm bringing it to you from a point of know-how. And I want you to please try to listen to me and do what I ask you to try out. I won't say to do, because you are unique. You will listen to what somebody else has to say, and you are the one who will decide. When you put it against your own values, your own purpose, your own passion, then you will decide. I can only help you to look at it in a broader perspective. So I did my own vision board early in the year, and one of the things I wanted to accomplish in the year 2018 was to either go to Zanzibar or to Egypt. Either Zanzibar or Egypt. I made my plans for Zanzibar. I've been talking so much about Zanzibar. You understand? I made my own plans about Zanzibar, but the way God took control in achieving my vision was amazing. The fact remained was that I put my vision down on paper. For those who are Christians, it's in Habakkuk, and I'm sure in other faith-based organizations they have such teachings where they say whatever you want to do, record it, make it visible so that you are able to have something to be accountable to. Merry Christmas, Farina. How are you? Farinu, how are you? Happy New Year in advance. To you and your home. Hello, Elijah. Hello, everybody. Chini, hello. How are you, everybody? So, as I said, I was so fixed on this that it had to come to pass. And the way it came to pass was so amazing. I didn't even have to spend much, you understand? God took control in achieving my vision, and it was amazing. I keep using the word amazing. I use the word amazing, phenomenal. I'm amazing. I'm phenomenal. You are amazing. You are phenomenal. Keep using positive words for yourself. You understand? So I had gotten, I got tired of Europe, and then Europe is not the same as it used to be when I was younger. It's not as easy as people think. And with all the nonsense going on, they don't want this kind of people, they don't want that kind of people. I decided that, it's about time I explore other parts of Africa. I'm from Nigeria. And so explore other parts of Africa, because if we come together as Africans, we have so much potential, but we are always geared, the colonial mentality, to always move towards, the international European scene. But then can you really blame people? They have worked towards achieving growth, worked towards achieving development, and we ought to imbibe that. We should not just imbibe the fashion. We should not just imbibe wanting to buy the homes there or wanting the good things of life. We should find out what are the things that made them accomplish so much. And that is where your goal setting for 2019 is very critical. You must analyze yourself. You must be able to ask yourself critical questions. You understand? So that is why vision boarding is very, very important. I have one coming up in January, around the 15th, 16th of January. I'll let you know. And I only take a small class because, as I said, patting myself on the back, I have a unique way of creating my vision boards, and those who have participated will tell you that. So instead of just traveling and wanting to be in the other side, hello my darling Ubon King, that's my son, he's come on board. Have you people registered for the Thinkathon on the 19th of January, I think? You better do, because last year was a bomb, and he's got some fantastic people who are going to speak this coming year, 2019. And let me tell you something, when you listen to the experiences of other people, when you listen to how they encountered challenges and how they overcame the challenge, that will give you inspiration, unless there's something wrong with you. If there's something wrong with you, come to me. I will rewire your head and your mindset. But you see, you need to listen to people. You need to invest in yourself. So I have created a bucket list of things that I wanted to do since January 2018. And I'll tell you that according to the Pareto's principle, about not quite 80-20, about 70-20 I have achieved. And it is because I wrote them down, I looked at them, I chased after them when even I was feeling a little bit set back and everything, because we're only human. And when you plan things, sometimes it doesn't work the way that you plan it. And you have to be able to be creative. That's where creative intelligence is very important. You must be able to flex things that you have prepared, things that you have put in place. If the environment, if the things around what you have created, what you have planned are not working, don't get despondent. Immediately think of plan B. Always have a plan B in action, because you will always have situations where you have to work for it. Work against anything that comes at you. Don't be despondent. Elijah, you said, I look forward to meeting you. Ubon King, you can ask about, all right. You will meet him hopefully at that place, at the Thinkathon, when you get there in January. Now, so I created a bucket list, and that is why I said I'm not going to do workshops in January. I will begin to encourage you to begin to put in place your goals. Don't just spend your time enjoying yourself. Enjoy yourself, yes, but at the back of your mind, with your pen and paper, I always walk around with a notepad, pen and paper. Beside me on my bed, there is always a pen and paper. And you see, when you are prepared, ideas will come. When you have your pen and paper beside you, ideas will come. Because you see, even the computer breaks down. When you say, I will remember, do you know how many things come at you through your eyes, through your smell, and nose, through your five senses, your touch, your feel, your ears, everything that assails you, about 7,000 per minute per second. How many can the brain remember? It's about, the brain can only remember a few. I can't really get the exact percentage before somebody holds me to ransom. I say, but you said it's XYZ% and you're not getting it. You must learn to write things down. I'm appalled sometimes when I look at people and they are at maybe a conference and they are where somebody is talking and it's somebody that, you know, has got things to give, and they do not have a pen and paper and they're just looking zoo. That is how your life too will be looking zoo. Because when you write things down, you will always go back. And remember, these are things I've been writing today. It's not that I'm on holiday, but, you know, things keep coming in my mind and I write them down. And that was why I decided I was going to talk about a bucket list today. 2 days ago, I put something on my Instagram page. Go read it. And I told you some certain steps. Now, what is a bucket list? A bucket list is a number of experiences or achievements and life experiences you want to have before you die. Now, don't go on me and say, no, I don't want to think about how to die. Listen, there are two things that are that are not arguable. The day you are born and the day that you are going to die. The day you are born and the day you're going to die. Now, the thing is, in between, the way you live your life in between is the most crucial part. Now, in the first formative years, your parents, your caregivers are the ones that will impute into you. That is why I say a lot of dysfunctionality as adults has to do with the foundational problem. What was the situation that child was brought up in? How did you input into that child? What happened to that child? What abuse happened to that child? What formed the foundation of what we see when a child is 10, 11, 12, 13, 14? Critical point again. Then it becomes 15, 16, 17. The most critical point is between the age -0 to about 8. Then it goes on to about 16, and then another formation happens between 16 and 23, and then it goes on. And that is how we meet people who are dysfunctional, leaders who are dysfunctional, husbands who are dysfunctional, wives who are dysfunctional, everybody dysfunctional in a dysfunctional country. But one thing I will not accept is what some people say Nigeria is a zoo. I wrote about it. I'm diverting a little bit now. And I said, they're not thinkers, they're not thinking. Because if Nigeria is a zoo, that means you are animals and your ancestors are animals, and my ancestors are not animals. I am not an animal. I am a Nigerian. We're going through a period of time in life. And when you look at other countries and read about their history, they have been through a lot. But it is the people who then changed the country. They didn't have anywhere else to go to. They changed it. The Americans, the Europeans, they changed it. Even when you talk about, you know, the Eastern European countries, it was the people that changed the very tight-fisted control that happened there. We are the ones who will change whatever we do not like if we put things into place and decide that we need to transform our mindsets and begin to live according to values and morals that will create the growth and development that we require for this country. When you sit back and begin to be negative, that's your problem. But you can change things in your own sphere. A bucket list is a list of all the things you want to try, goals you want to achieve, and life experiences you want to have before you die. As I said, dying is a sure banker, birth is a sure banker. But we are enjoined to live as long as God has made us to live, has decreed for us, 70 years plus 10, and then you add more, you ask for more. So the way you live could either be the positive or the negative. And of course, we don't know tomorrow. We leave everything to the Almighty God, but live as best as you can within the confines of the statutes of God, and make your plans, but do not plan without putting God in the center of your plans. For me, I think everyone should have a bucket list. Some people have a reverse thought that bucket lists could lead you to writing unrealistic goals, which could make it seem you're not achieving anything. Now, that is where SMART goals are very important. They must be SMART goals. You understand? When people make unrealistic goals or make unrealistic statements, that is when they get into trouble. I think everyone should have a bucket list or a to experience. I call it a to experience in this lifetime list. And one of the ones that I had written was to experience Egypt. People go to Israel all the time, but you see, Egypt has a history. It has history. It's the bedrock of civilization, as they have told us many times. And the Christianity has, a foothold there too as well. I went to so many places that had a tie-in, and I went to a place I shouldn't have gone. I decided to go into one of the lesser pyramids. Oh my God. I wish I hadn't, but I couldn't move back. I couldn't move forward. It was an experience for me. It was such an experience. But I thank God when I think about the people who were actually in there from the beginning, who created it, who built it, and who were part of those that were buried there. So much history going on the Nile. Anyway, so bucket lists remind you that life is short and we should live it to its fullest. Bucket lists makes you stop and think what you actually want to experience in this lifetime. Yes, what you want to actually, God has given us everything that we need. Sometimes we pray for things that God has already said it is in our hands. As far as we can see, it's in our mouth what we can say. But because we do not know the power that we wield, I used to be like that too. The power that we wield. I was not too sure of who I was, what I had in me, and it took one or two things to get me a bit annoyed with myself, and that brought out everything that I had. And that is what I keep imputing. But this 2019, one of the things about my bucket list is I'm going to make money. I'm not going to be doing all these things for free all the time. I'll use Pareto's principle. 80% you pay for, because what you pay for, you appreciate. 20%, no, I'll make my own Lila's principle. 95-5. 5% free, 95% you pay some amount for, because what you pay for, what you struggle for, you actually are committed to. It's a principle of the brain. It goes on. That's another matter. So bucket list increases our happiness because they give us both hope and curiosity. Curiosity is roped around faith, because faith is believing in things you have not seen, calling it to being as if it were. And that is part of what the vision board is all about. And you become curious. How will this thing manifest in my life? You become very curious. It gives you hope. It gives you curiosity, which has its root in faith. So those are the two things that it is. So I'm going to give you 5 quick ways you can deal with the bucket list. Number 1, step 1, dream storm. Dream storm. Yes, you heard right. The first thing you can do to create your bucket list is to dream storm. This is a combination of dreaming and brainstorming. So take out a piece of paper. I don't know whether you can do it now. No, I don't think so, because I'm not going to waste much time. But be writing it down. I told you, everybody that follows me knows they should take a piece of paper. Take out a piece of paper or a jotter and set aside at least 15 minutes. 15 minutes to put all of your ideas into writing. Here is a little key for you. Remove all limits. Remove anything that will limit you. That's the key. The most important part of dream storming is allowing your mind to be as free as possible. Step 1 is all about putting down every single idea that pops into your head. It's not crazy, it's not impossible, it's not silly. Just put it down. you let your brain and mind free. It's amazing what ideas will come out. It's really amazing. So take aside 15 minutes before the 31st of January. Put aside 15 minutes and just flow. Don't give any limits, just flow. Take a full scalp, take sheets of paper, just flow. You understand? Step 2 is time list. Next, it's time to break up your list. Break it up by timelines. This is crucial because otherwise your bucket list could languish in your computer or in your, because people will do it on their computer or in your jotter, whatever way you have put it down, because it feels too long and overwhelming. I remember during the middle of last year when I had my vision boarding, I have it 3 times a year. One of my participants had a bucket list. Oh my God. She didn't realize it was a bucket list until I explained to her. She had a list of what she wanted to achieve. And it was so long that when we started now trying to articulate the dreams of what, the vision of what they want to do, after I put them through certain exercises, she was lost. And I noticed it. So I went up to her because I have to be around. And that's why I have just a small amount. Although if I have to do it for a department, they can be bigger for each department. Now, I then looked at her bucket list and I had to sit down with her and collapse them to realistic timelines. And by the time I helped her, some that she had written 4 or 5 points were actually 1 point. Sometimes when you're writing your goal, the first one you write actually is what will give birth to the other ones. Do you understand? So it's very crucial that you put timelines to it so that it's not overwhelming. You're going to look at all of the items on your list and figure out, look at all the items and figure out if they are short-term, they are long-term, or special-term goals. So here are the categories you can consider using. Do you understand? For instance, holiday time. Are there items you think you can get done this period? When I talk about holiday time, is between April, May, June, July. You project, you say March, April, May. Are there things that you can do before that time? Or are there things you can do during the latter part of the year? Do you understand? 20s, 30s, 40s bucket list. What do you want to achieve before you hit your next birthday? What do you want to achieve before you hit your next birthday? For some people, their next birthday is in a few days' time or a few weeks' time. Yes, you can start and put some realistic things that by my birthday in 1 week time or 2 weeks' time, I'll do a little bit of this and then I continue. Do you understand? Write a whole list of lessons that you have learned in the year before. You know, the year before this birthday, write what you have learned. Do you understand? So you talk about, you know, where you live too as well. Your bucket list, where you are living right now. Are you living temporarily there or are you new to a place? What do you want to achieve in that locality? Some people just take themselves to certain areas. They don't think about it. Sometimes they think about the rent and they're not thinking about the fact that the rent might seem okay, but the transportation to get in and out, the wear and tear on your body is far more expensive than being where you think is cheaper. Do you understand? Where do you want to be at the end of the year? Because when you are thinking about where you're living right now, you must now begin to think, is it conducive? Is it workable for you? Is it making you more stressed than you should be? Is it giving you the peace that you require? Are your neighbors such that you would like to be there? Is the house damp? Is it causing you to have health issues? Do you need to say to yourself, in the next 1 year or 2 years, I'm going to do X, Y, Z? Do you understand? And you see, there are things that we always think about in terms of money, finances. We limit ourselves with money. We say to ourselves, we can't do this because of this. No, take it a step at a time. Don't let the finances limit you. Do you understand? You can break your bucket list into years. As I said, short term, long term, special term. This is great to think about, you know, going along with your goals. I don't like resolutions. I don't like saying put down resolutions. I say your intentions. Your intentions and your goals, because people who make resolutions before the 1st of January most times break it by that first week. Do you understand? So think about your next year bucket list right now, before the 31st. Do you understand? Don't wait until the end of this year to do this. Begin to do it. You begin to talk about your holiday. You don't need to travel out of the country. You need to unstress yourself. Most people see holidays as being out of the country. Do you know you can take 3-4 days in one of the many places in Nigeria? I've discovered quite a few places. So step 3. Step 1, I said that you should dreamstorm. That is dreaming and brainstorming. Take out a piece of paper for about 15 minutes and write down everything that you want to think about. Wherever you are, whatever you are doing, just write it down. Number 2, put timelines to it. Put timelines to everything and make sure your list is not so cumbersome. Be realistic. Now, number 3 is partner in joy. I put there partner in joy. You don't have to do this, but after sharing and comparing, you might want to consider asking someone to be your bucket list buddy. Sometimes it's good to have accountability, to have somebody that you can be accountable to. You understand? It could be your partner, your spouse. It could be a very good friend. It could be a brother. It could be a father. You know, somebody that you are accountable to. Your partner in joy. As I said, if you have a friend and you are not bothered about what is going on with them, then you're not a friend. You're just an acquaintance. You can't be having things okay with yourself and then it's not working for another person. And when somebody is telling you that certain things are not right with you, try to listen. You might be making it and people are listening to you, but there might be 1 or 2 people who may actually be placed by God to tell you certain things that will make you go on to the next level. Do you understand? You don't have to do your entire list with someone, but you can have certain items shared with them. For instance, with your spouse, the things you have to do for the year, the things you have to do about traveling. You know, you're meant to be open with your spouse. It's a pity sometimes when some people are not open with one another, and it has to do with communication problem right from the beginning. They're not open to themselves. It's caused a lot of problems. And, you know, I work with them sometimes, and it's a lot of problems. For the young ones, if you cannot communicate with that partner, with that person that you are thinking of settling down with, you got a big problem. Break through that problem before you go into that marriage. Do you understand? I would highly recommend trying to partner off for the bigger costly activities or split expenses and get accountability in planning. I already told a friend of mine that, you know, the next one I want to go to is Morocco and Turkey. Do you understand? Morocco and Turkey by about summertime, like I said earlier on. And, you know, I said both of us can think about sharing and partnering and going on. One of my daughters has already started planning her own trip to some farm, I think it's Thailand or something, with her 2 friends since, you know, middle of last year. They're saving towards it. We must have the culture of saving. We don't save, and we have become like a beggar community. You keep asking people for things. No, why don't you save? Try, you know, the save. You'll be surprised what will happen. Now, number 3, creating your bucket list is also almost as fun as completing your bucket list. So it's time to turn some of your dreams to reality. It can be overwhelming to look at your long list and think about how and when you will complete them all. But don't worry, this is the best problem to have. Creating that bucket list is the first one. I said your vision, write your vision down, for at the set time it will come to pass. And like I said, for the vision board is the law of attraction. What you write, what you see, what you put up is always there. I can't show you my phone, but on my phone is the picture of my vision board. So as I open my phone, it's always there. It's reminding me about everything that I need to do. I can't see the pictures as broadly as I should, but I know what I've put there, so I speak into being what is not as if it were. I'm talking about being closer to God. I'm talking about my children, that, you know, the Lord should bless them and everything. I'm looking at the house I want to retire into. I'm looking at, oh, there are so many things, and I'm speaking. I'm already speaking into being what I want to happen in 2019. Do you understand? So creating your bucket list is almost as fun as completing it. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. Create it realistically. So I want you to pick 3 things to work on planning. Yeah, just 3 things. Create it, but put it 3 things first in order of preference. Move more than that and it becomes too much to think about. Do you understand? So pick the 3 things. How do you pick it? What excites you most? What has a time limit? Once you understand, those things are what you scan your list and take note of the items that give you a little rush. When you look at it, you feel, and when you think of them, your blood starts to pump inside that, yeah, I would really like to go there. Like me, I want to go to Morocco. And when I think about it, you know, I get excited. Like when I wanted to go to Egypt. Now I've seen Egypt, I want to go to Morocco. So what has a time limit? Is there anything that you need to do soon because of a time limit? There might be some things that don't need a long span. I said short, long term, and special term. Do you understand? Once you pick your 3, it's time to start the first steps of planning. People don't like to sit down and plan. You got to plan 1, 2, 3. They say, okay, let us leave it. Religiosity will get you nowhere. Realistic planning. God is a God of order. He says, write it down. Write it down. You understand? So once you pick your 3, it's time to start planning. Basically, the who, the when, the where, you understand what you want to happen. This list will help you complete every single bucket list item. You can also use online tools to do it. You know, there are some online tools you can use to help yourself for those who want to. There's something called bucketlist.org, or you write a to-do list, or you go to Pinterest. Pinterest can help you out, you understand? Step 5, the last one. As I said, the who, when, where, and how much. What time, after you've picked out the ones that excite you. So I'm repeating that. So when you should save your funds, what is your time limit? You ask yourself these questions. You can decide which bucket list item you can make your number 1 and start right away, and which ones require more time. Do you understand? Once you've chosen your top 3, it's time to begin planning. I repeat, it's time to begin planning. Be as specific as possible. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Smart bucket list. You it may be specific, dream, but dream with, you know, some sense in you. Then last, never ending, step 6. This might sound odd, but the goal of your bucket list is not to finish it. It's not to finish it. It's for you to keep adding to it, to grow it. I was so happy when I spoke to someone who did the vision board in April last year, and she was telling me excitedly just before, I think the 23rd, that I have achieved some things on my goal, on my vision board. Now I'm adding something else to it. So it's from one of the things that she had put down, she's grown into another. She put down 1, but one of the things had grown into 2. And there's a possibility of 3. Do you understand? So it's got to keep growing, and you keep checking off the items. And that's why you need to write it down. Keep the never-ending bucket list mentality to live a regret-free life. Don't box yourself in. A bucket. Where is my bucket? I put it. A bucket, you pour the water out. You either pour it or you pour it in drips. A bucket is filled gradually. You can put the whole bucket into the water and scoop the water. But when you're filling it in another way, it fills gradually until it overflows. You take it off, then you can fill some more in. See the world through the lens of a bucket list. What do I want to do in my lifetime? What can I savor and celebrate once I have completed an item? So as I said before, there are two ways to keep you abreast. One is to keep a copy on your phone, which I do, you understand, and you can add items and you can look at it. And another is to revisit your bucket list every time you cross off an item. When you cross off an item, you revisit it. Do you understand? So another inspiration I can give to you is that if you want me to give you you know, ideas about a bucket list, I have a bucket list PDF that, you know, I can send to you, so to assist you in getting your creative juices going. So send me an email at connectwithlila@gmail.com to get it. Connectwithlila@gmail.com to get that bucket list that you want. So I hope that I have helped you in trying to get you to think positively about 2019. Think about 2018 as you're doing your bucket list, the lessons you have learned, and what you need to change about yourself. Write that bucket list, write it down, but be realistic when writing it, okay? And as I said, I've just completed an online course on rebuilding your life after domestic violence and abuse, and the feedback is fantastic. The next one is going to be in February, and I will enjoin you. If you have problems moving on after any kind of emotional problems, you should join that online course. And I have a self-care bucket list for 52 weeks for those who are going through any kind of emotional trauma, any kind of physical trauma. I would like you to send me an email on connectwithlila@gmail.com. Yeah, gmail.com, and I will send it to you. Do not play with getting your goals going before 1st of January. Do not take your life seriously. Enjoy life, but make your plans. Do not make your life a coincidental one, a chancy one. Let it be by chance. No, write it down, lift it up to God, and God will make sure that the desires of your heart, He said He has given all the blessings, all the things that we do need to make life worthy for us. It's for us to, you know, go after it the way we should, make our plans, be diligent, be committed, have integrity, and don't look for shortcuts. Shortcuts may get you there, but would get you falling faster. Do you understand? So that is what you should do. I wish you all the best as you go into the last few days to the end of the year. And please, do not take this lightly. It wasn't easy for me to do tonight, but I was led. Anytime I speak, I'm led to do it. So I wish you all the best. And you will definitely see it for the next 24 hours. I'll see if I can, you know, save it. I don't know, something is wrong with my saving mechanisms, and then I'll put it on YouTube. I'm trying to build up my YouTube, so if you want to see more of me, try to subscribe. Encourage me to subscribe, okay? So take care and God bless.